Welcome to the Cross the Line Podcast. My name is Carlos Smith, and today's episode is sponsored by KB's Car Care on 321 North Main Street in Jonesville, South Carolina. They offer a hand car wash, vacuum, and clean interior. Coming soon, you'll also be able to do a full detail. While you wait on your vehicle, customer seating is available as well as a dining area. They're open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. So make sure you stop by and visit our family here in Jonesville, South Carolina. Today's episode is also sponsored by Big Ben's Desserts in Spartanburg, South Carolina as well. Today, this is our third interview here in Jacksonville, Florida, on the Cross the Line Podcast Self-Investment Tour. Today, we have two very special guests with us again. We have entrepreneur, Chef Simone Bridges of the Goddess Food Factory, along with her mother, Miss Arica Bridges. How are you ladies doing?
We're doing fine. Thank you.
Good.
That's good. Thank you ladies for taking the time to sit with us. I know you have a busy schedule, and Mom, I just want to let you know you've been doing a great job.
Thank you.
You making sure everything is on point. I can tell. Like make sure the cameras, the light, and everything is set up. So I definitely think you're doing a wonderful job, and thank you again, ladies, for having us here.
Absolutely.
So starting out, Miss Simone, how did you get into baking?
Well, I started baking because my granny taught me how to bake ever since I was 3 years old. She would always teach me how to bake like all the good sweets, like cupcakes, brownies, cobbler's pies, cookies.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, she didn't want me to help her because I was only 3 years old. Like, there's so many bad things that come out of that. But, you know, God had my back, and I ended up having lots of fun. And she taught me how to measure the ingredients, taste the ingredients to see if it's too bitter or too sweet, well, the batter at the end. And then she even taught me how to mix it. And so, you know, baby steps ended up coming into, like, bigger steps. Yeah. And then when I turned 5, I got my first Easy Bake Oven, and I kept practicing. And then, you know, I ended up creating a love for baking, and I just kept practicing, and then I started baking by myself.
That's an awesome journey, and I love the name of your business, the Goddess Food Factory. How did you come up with that name?
Well, in the beginning, we had Angel Food Factory, right. But then that one was taken, and we were trying to figure out like what name we could use to make it better and describe me still. And so I was like, you know what? We were just thinking. I was like, you know, Goddess sounds good. Goddess Food Factory, and it actually took us a while to like get used to it. Me, I figured that it was really good, but at first she was hesitant about the name, and she keeps saying that she knew that Goddess Factory was good. Like, no, she was hesitant about the name first, and then after a while, then she was like, oh yeah, I like this a lot, so we just stuck with it.
I love the name. It's a wonderful name for the business. Mom, I'll let you chime on this question as well. When did you know this could be a very successful business, Mom, and when did you know it was time to really push her in that direction?
Well, as an event planner, with her space, we allowed for her to host parties as well. Mm-hmm. And so she started having the cooking parties and the baking parties, so she would teach other kids how to bake. Once the classes started picking up, and then once different people would ask her to come speak to other youth, the business, and then other streams of the business start to develop. Mm-hmm. And we really knew once we got the big call, you know, from Steve Harvey, and I was like, oh, wait a second. We are really on to something here. And so that's how, you know, I was like, okay, we're on another level at this point.
And talk a little bit about that. Like you said, you got that call from Steve Harvey. Was it unexpected? Talk about that moment when you got that call a little bit.
It was really crazy because honestly, when we called and it was like, hi, we're calling for Simone Bridges. And I was like, this is the manager of Simone Bridges. May I help you? So it was like she introduced herself and then she says, are you familiar with Steve? So in my head, she didn't say Steve Harvey. So she said Steve, so I was like, no, I'm not familiar with Steve. And so she said, well, let me tell you a little bit about him. So she started saying he's the host of Family Feud. He did Little Bit Shots, and he has the show Steve Harvey, and now it's going to a new syndicated program, and it's going to be called Steve. And I said, oh, I know who Steve Harvey is. And by day, I'm also an educator. So But I teach teachers how to teach reading, so I'm a reading coach.
Okay.
So I walked out the classroom, but the teacher was in the classroom with the kids, but I wasn't there to support her. So I walked out of the classroom and I was like, okay, bye. And she just started saying, they were very interested in Simone. They wanted her on the show, and I was like, oh, of course. So it went really, really fast. They called us, I believe, on it was that Friday. That Monday, they sent the email with all the things that they needed, but the email that they sent the information to, I guess at the time was an email that was still on her social media page, and we hadn't changed it to the info@goddessfoodfactory.com email. Mm-hmm. So they sent it to the other email, and I really don't check that one. The other one that we had up every day, it was just a Gmail email. Right. And so when I checked it on Tuesday on my way to work, I was like, oh man. So then of course I pulled over, I checked on the way once I got to work. And then I remember going and looking, and I was like, okay, let me email them back and say, hey, if there's still an opportunity, we're interested. And then from there, I emailed them back that Tuesday evening, they wanted to speak with her, so they did a Skype, and it went super fast, and we flew out Wednesday. Wow. It went that fast.
Yeah, it was very hectic.
It went just that fast. They flew out. We flew out that Wednesday, and then that Thursday they filmed it, and it aired that Monday.
That was a quick turnaround.
Yeah, it was real quick. It was mind blowing. It was crazy. Mm-hmm. It was a very good experience though, but it was like, wait, what? It was so quick that I didn't really believe it. Mm-hmm. I didn't believe until we got the flight confirmation, hotel confirmation, and all of that kind of stuff.
Simone, how was it for you? Were you nervous? Steve Harvey is a legend in our community, somebody that we hold in high regards. How was that for you?
Well, in the beginning, I was very, very nervous because I'm like, okay, I'm about to meet Steve Harvey. So I was so nervous in the beginning. But then, I remember me in the back, I was trying to, calm myself down. And then when I got out there, I was like, you know what? Let me just be Simone. So I went out there and I still rewatch the video to this day. People still talk about it, and it's just like, why did I do that? But I went out there and I was dancing, and I started dabbing, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was being Simone a little too much, but it was so funny, and everything turned out really good, and he just made me comfortable, and so it was good.
It was great. Great experience, a lifetime opportunity. Do you feel any pressure now, to kind of live up to those expectations, like you said? Because it almost felt like it happened so quickly. But do you feel any type of pressure now, trying to maintain that and perform in the national spotlight?
Well, not really. It's just it comes naturally now to the point where it's everything that I do is just kind of out of love, and so it never really is pressure, because if it was something that I didn't want to do, then I could have easily stopped. Right. But it's I keep going because I like doing what I do.
Did it feel I know a lot of times when we look at things on TV, we man, this just seemed like it came out of nowhere, an overnight success, but it's always, somebody always has a journey to get to where they are. But did it feel like an overnight success for you too?
Overnight? Oh no. It took some time to get to where I am, but it felt like there were lots of blessings that came in the midst of the way, so which allowed me to be to where I am so early, because sometimes it takes people 5, 10, 15 years to get to where I am, but a lot of blessings came in the midst of the way and helped me and pushed me a little bit more forward, but it still took some time.
Absolutely. What did you come from? I know your mom said she teaches and now you're baking, and you say your grandmother taught you how to bake, but overall, did you guys come from a family of entrepreneurs, or this is kind of new in a sense with you baking?
I don't know about a family of entrepreneurs. Me and my mom are the only entrepreneurs that I know in my family.
Your dad had his own business too.
With trucking.
Yeah.
Trucking.
Yeah. So, and then your grandmother, she baked cakes. My mom,
but she was like she baked cakes, but she was like a house business. Like
she's still
there is a lot of entrepreneurs that start from home.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the gentleman we had when I started at the very beginning of doing my interviews a couple of years ago, Ben Hall, he bakes a lot too, Big Ben's desserts, and he actually he started from home. It was like we shot that interview at his home, and maybe like 4 or 5 months later, he ended up having a storefront, which he still has today. But he was like, when he started, he just left his job. He didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
He said he had about $800 in his pocket, but he just believed in what he was doing. And from there, he just kept progressing. So definitely, a lot of entrepreneurs start from home, which is sometimes, especially
there's a lot of successful entrepreneurs who started from home and still are home, especially in your field in the baking world.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of home bakers who do a lot of excellent work, who are doing so many awesome and great things, and they run their business fully out of their out of their home front. So, and then, but the answer to your question, yes, my mom.
That's all I was about to clarify. Mm-hmm. Like, in my family, I know that it's my mom, my dad, and my granny, and then me. That's what inspired me to start my own business because of them. But I don't really know outside of them. I don't really know anybody else.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and with Goddess Food Factory, I saw that you also do like speaking engagement. What other type of services do you provide as well?
Outside of Goddess Food Factory, Goddess Food Factory was also a lot of service. So like outside of baking or just outside of
overall
Goddess Food
in general, everything.
I think it's me outside of baking.
Baking.
Within your business.
So I also do. Like I'm a motivational speaker, so I will go to a lot of schools and talk to kids about the importance of STEAM education, which is science, technology, reading, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And that actually moves me to my nonprofit as well, Simone Bridges Inspires Inc., where I do a lot of giving back to the community with my nonprofit organization. And so we actually hosted a stream cello event, and that was so amazing. We got over 100 kids sponsored to attend the event for free. And they got lots of like back to school products. They got backpacks, drawstring backpacks, pencils, pens, markers, glue sticks, glue bottles, rulers, composition books, notebooks. They got a whole bunch of stuff at the event. And they got to visit the stream stations, and they even got to see performances from dancers, artists, rappers, singers, all that good stuff. So
and for those of you who don't know what stream cello is like Coachella, but it also has stations for science, technology, reading, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So that's what STREAM stands for. It's like STEM, STEAM, STREAM. So, but it was, like you said, lots of performances, rappers, dancers, everything. Characters, we had lots of characters from astronauts to Cookie Monster to Elmo, Minnie Mouse, Mickey Mouse, everything. But the kids really had a good time, and it was one of the biggest educational fun event here in Jacksonville, Florida. And all the kids, like Simone said, attended for free. But it was a community sponsored event. Of course, it was held by Simone Bridges Inspires Inc. But we brought in the electrical company here, which is JEA. Web.com gave a huge donation, $500. Hood Estates. It was just, we love them. They're one of our business partners. They gave a huge donation. Blended Designs. There are so many companies that are right here in Jacksonville who really gave a lot. Even the company here, Chartwells, that sponsors the food for all of the elementary schools and high schools here, they donated food for all the participants, as well as one of the bars downtown donated food as well. So it was hugely sponsored. Yeah, a really great event.
How does that make you feel, Simone, knowing that a lot of kids your age, you're in a very fortunate position. A lot of kids your age, they're not able to create these opportunities for other younger kids. How does that make you feel knowing that you're creating these life changing experience for kids at such an early age?
Well, it makes me feel really happy because I always wanted to be able, because I see like a lot of kids, I would go to, my elementary was Biltmore Elementary, and that was a school, B school, and a lot of the kids didn't have like big opportunities like that. So I was like, you know what, I wish that I could be able to do something for them so that they can be able to experience a really, really fun experience. So I was like, my nonprofit organization would be the best way to do that. And I know I have a lot of connections with a lot of people who have big businesses that love to donate to good deeds like that. So I was like, you know, this string cello will definitely be the best way to give back to the community and be able to help a lot more people and have a lot more kids be able to experience like good times and learn at the same time. So I felt like this string cello was just the best way to do that, and it made me really, really happy to see how the whole entire community came together to make it happen.
Is it hard for you with so much on your plate? Do you at times do you feel like sometimes it's kind of hard to like just be a kid because you're like a very successful entrepreneur, you're in the spotlight and you're doing a lot of interviews, like I know your mom was saying you got another one shortly. Is it hard, you know, sometimes for you being just to try to just to be a kid with so much on your plate?
Well, no, not really, because we have a calendar that organizes every single thing that we do. So we make sure nothing runs into each other, and I also have time to hang out with my friends. And plus, if I have no excuse actually, because I can hang out with my friend anytime because I have a neighbor that's right there, literally 2 houses down, and it's Desiree, Destiny, Steve, and Tiana. Their stepsisters that comes over sometimes, so I get to hang out with them like all the time. So I have plenty of time to be a kid. Plus, it's like lots of kids in our neighborhood. So we just, if I wanted to hang out with them, just easily ask my mom, can I go hang out with them? Go outside sometimes, play football sometimes, just play at the playground. And just hang out.
And it's funny that he asked that because that question gets asked a lot. You know, do she have time to be a kid? But Simone's captain of her cheerleading team at her school. She runs track. Yeah. She is in a lot of activities. With the addition of her business, her regular business, Goddess Food Factory, and then her charitable business with, her charity nonprofit with Simone Bridges Inspires Inc. But she get a lot of time to interact with kids because she's always doing either activities with kids or baking with kids or hanging with her friends. So she get a lot of time to interact with kids.
Right now, okay, so I'm in 9th grade now, so this is my first year, so I'm a freshman. And this year, I told myself that I wasn't going to do any, like, activities at school because I wanted to focus more on my business because I just turned 15. I am getting older, so I have to basically set myself up for what's going to happen in my future. It's not going to be me doing track, me doing cheer, stuff like that. I'm going to be focusing on my business. So I tried to, for my high school, I figured that I could focus more on my business and get more serious. And on my senior year, though, she doesn't know this yet, but on my senior year, I figured that I really wanted to do cheer for my last year because I want to, you know, when you take your senior pictures, you want to have that memory so you can remember, hey, I did cheer, remember? And I did track, yes, I did all that good stuff. So, like, I can have it just as memories. Yeah. So I figured my senior year, I could get back into doing all that stuff, but then that would be like my last year just for the memories.
Well, I'm glad we got some breaking news right here. But, Mom, I'm sorry to call you Mom, Miss Arica. What do you try to do to make sure she doesn't go overboard and burn out? What do you try to make sure?
One of the biggest things is our calendar system. With our calendar system, she's allowed to pin anything on the calendar. And then, of course, I pin things on the calendar. And so, let's say Halloween just passed, you know. And so, she pinned that she wanted to go to, what's it called, 13th floor? 13th floor. It's a haunted house, a big, huge haunted house. But she will pin things on the calendar that she wants to do. And then I work around those things, and then I pin other things that come up. So when she has something, we look at the calendar, and then it goes from there. If there's something, an interview to come up, I always say, okay, well, she's not available at this time, but here are some options, and then that way if they still want to do them, and then, you know, we just work around her calendar that way.
Yeah, so before we progress with this interview, allow me to take one more break to say this interview is also sponsored by Charlene's Home Cooking on 1136 East Blackstock Road. Charlene's Home Cooking is a family restaurant that cooks like grandma. You can do a meat with 2 sides, a meat with 3 sides, or a veggie plate. Cakes, pies, and cobbler are also available for dessert. She would love for you to visit, so make sure you stop by Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday, from 11 to 6, and Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 7. So thank you, Miss Charlene, for being the sponsor of the Cross the Line podcast once again.
And before we continue, make sure y'all check out Miss Charlene home cooking. We're chefs in this family, so check out Charlene's home cooking.
Man, if you guys, I know you say you haven't really had many things in South Carolina at all, but if you ever get a chance, please, she's a very special woman. It's like she was one of the first people when I started this thing out, and she just believed in me, and she welcomed me with open arms. Anything that we needed, she was there. And the food is amazing too. Like, she definitely cooks like grandma with everything, and her story was amazing. It was like, I tell people that was definitely a gift from God, because she told us she doesn't even have a sense of taste or smell, but she just knows how good her cooking is. And her grandmother, she said, made them cook everything from scratch. You couldn't write anything down. If you got one ingredient wrong, you just had to start all over from scratch.
Grandmas, a lot of people learn from their grandmas. You know, it's very fortunate to have grandparents that you can that pass down life lessons, lifelong lessons with the cooking. So, shout out to grandmas.
That is definitely a blessing. I tell anybody, if your grandparents are still around, please cherish them, because they are some very special people, and those things that you learn from is like so much wisdom and everything. So definitely,
shout out to grandma.
Absolutely, grandmas are doing it big. Miss Arica, for this next question I want to ask you, well, Miss Simone also, like, how much time do you spend baking actually?
You want to answer first, or you want me to answer?
How much time do I spend baking?
Well,
Zero.
Answer first.
Zero. I don't bake. So she didn't learn baking from me. She learned baking from her grandma. Yes, I don't bake. This sounds bad, but I promise you guys, I do so much more for the family. I cooked last night, but before last night, I hadn't cooked in how long?
In like a good 6-7 years. And she and we were talking to
let them cook. Yeah.
We were talking to one of her clients yesterday, and then she was like, "No, that's not true. I cooked about like 2 or 3 years ago." And you know what she called cooking? Making spaghetti, getting some pasta, putting in some water, and then getting the store-bought spaghetti sauce and mixing it inside of the spaghetti. And she called that cooking.
Oh, man.
Like, you're not gonna trick her like that. No, you haven't cooked in like 6 to 7 years.
But I cooked last night.
But you cooked last night.
Did it taste good?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
It tasted everything. It was so good.
Yes,
she can cook, but baking?
So you just let her test the food out when you finish trying something?
Yes, she is my number one taste tester.
And I trust me, I can just already tell that when we were getting everything set up, she's definitely going to make sure you got it right.
I'm going to say when it's good, I'm going to say when it's bad.
Do you watch other people bake and just trying to study the craft, like just testing different things out? Of course, you Google and YouTube has everything on it. Anything you need, some of the most simple stuff, or some of the most like changing the battery in the car, whatever you need. Everything is on Google and YouTube. But do you try to like study your craft and watch other people bake?
Of course, all the time. You have to. You always have to look at other people's work just to kind of criticize your work. Do a constructive criticism on your work, just to say, how could I make mine better? How could I make this design better? How could I think outside of the box with this certain treat? So you always look at other people's ideas, and then you may change it up a bit. Sometimes you may not, and then you kind of build from that and make it into your own, or just use some of their flavors. They say that such and such flavors may go together. You say, hey, let me try that out. Let me try to use those flavors and put it into a pie, or put it into a cake, or put it into a brownie. Like, you never know. So you always want to study other people's work and just kind of, look at it and see how you could make yours better. Or, like me, I always go and see different things from my granny. My granny learns stuff all the time. So most of my stuff, I get it from my granny.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
You got your business from your mama, though.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing that you try to preach to kids, like when you interact with them, whether it's from a baking standpoint or whatever it is that they want to do in life? What's the biggest thing that you try to advice you try to give those kids?
the biggest advice that I would give any kid or any person that's just aspiring to be a chef or aspiring to be an entrepreneur or aspiring to just go after their goals, I always say the dream, the I'm possible dream, and never give up. So you want to dream that you can do anything. You can accomplish anything, be anybody, and just go after your dreams and never give up. Don't let anybody stop you. Don't let anybody hold you back. Don't let anybody tell you that you should do something else. Go after your dreams. Dream the I'm possible dream, and never give up.
Absolutely, that's wonderful advice. How do kids react to you? You know, seeing you on Steve Harvey and all over the TV and everything, doing a lot of interviews. Do they look at you like a celebrity? How do they look at you?
A lot of the times, my friends will call me.
Go ahead.
A lot of the times, my friends will call me and they'll be like, "Hey, celebrity. Hey, celebrity. What you doing, celebrity?" All the time. And I'm just like, hey. Like, they do it all the time. And it's like, it's kind of different because I'm so used to just being Simone, but now I'm stepping out into this box of being like a celebrity, and then, you know, you just continue to grow and grow and grow. And it's like, I'm getting used to it. I'm still getting used to it. But, I mean, to me, I'm just always going to be Simone. I'm just always going to be Simone.
What do kids, when you tell people that you're an entrepreneur, you know, it's very rare for kids your age. Do they give you what do they say when you tell them, you know, I'm an entrepreneur and I bake and I have my own business?
Well, a lot of the kids, before the whole entire pandemic happened and before everything is going how it is, you know, everybody was just like, wow, you own your own business and you're only, 14, 13, well, now I'm 15. Like, before, it was just so shocked that little me could have my own business. And it's like, you don't have to wait until you're older. You can start right now.
Right.
But they didn't think of it that way. But I have inspired a lot of kids in Jacksonville because now, everybody, I'm telling you, you may not know it, but I'm telling you, everybody, as far as I know in my class, and like from class of 2023 to 2025, I know in between those classes, everybody is owning their own business. I have so many friends out there who are doing designs with their pants. They're making pants, making shirts, designing onesies, designing purses, designing hair stuff.
Doing your other friend Cherish.
Yeah, Cherish, her popping pouches.
Yeah.
She has like these little pouches where she has like all different types of
hair stuff,
hair clips, lip glosses. Another one of my friends, Talia, she makes lip glosses, does different flavors in them, scents in them, all different types of things. So like all these different kids are doing, and I even have a friend, Yanni, who does nails, literally acrylic nails and all of that good stuff. Like, so many of my friends are entrepreneurs now, but before then it was just like, wow, you're owning your own business, and it's so great to see that I've inspired a lot of people to own their own business as well.
Right. And I asked that question because back over the summer we had this one the Fennell family. They have a business, Fennell Adventures, where Miss Janae Fennell, she takes her children, Jace, Jai, and Merle, around the world, and they write books about their adventures.
I love that.
And I asked them how is it at school for you kids when you tell people what you do, and sometimes they say kids will look at them like, what, you write books, and kind of give them like an odd look sometimes. And I told them honestly, man, it's like, you know what, y'all don't have nothing to be ashamed of. It's just something that we're not used to. And I was like, I wish when I was your age, like I was paying attention to like entrepreneurship and things like that. And it's just like, sometimes, kids are gonna be kids. Some of them are gonna just try to tease you and anything. But I always tell them, man, that's a wonderful thing, especially when you have that exposure to it. And now look at what you were saying, it's like you were somebody that they looked at, and now they're doing their own thing as well as far as entrepreneurship. So it's just a wonderful feeling. And as far as like I encourage kids, definitely, there's nothing wrong with, of course, get your education, but there's nothing wrong with it still. It also on the side, like having your own business and creating your own opportunity.
And if I can add to that, that comes with parenting too. For any of the parents that are out there who if two things, if you have a kid who does have a business and was fortunate enough for God to give them that gift, you have to teach the child your child that gift is not theirs. That gift is for them to share. So I taught Simone, these are your friends. If they're your real friends, you don't want to be the only baller. Like, teach your friends how to become an entrepreneur too, so that all of you all can share qualities and then
uplift each other.
And uplift each other, because you never know. So, they may have another aspect of knowledge that she doesn't have, and then they can share this, and then Simone could say, "Oh, you should do this with your business," and they could go learn something and say, "Oh, Simone, I was watching something on YouTube or whatever. You should do this for your business." So if you all share that, and you help the next person, then everybody wins.
Absolutely.
And then the other thing I was going to say for parents who, if your child is interested in anything, and I don't know which one of these cameras that I'm looking into, but if your child has an interest in something, help them get resources, and that resource may not be you, but you know somebody, like Trick Daddy said, everybody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody.
Right.
You know someone that can help your child. If not, social media is one of the other best places. Hey, my child is interested in art. How can they become a paid artist? Put your child art up, have them start selling it for $10, ask family and friends to pay for it, and then say, okay, $10 for original, $5 for prints. Go get color copies. Color copies at Office Depot cost 99 cents. Your child made a profit of $4. Then take it from there. If you want us to frame it, it's gonna be an extra $3. You go get a frame from Dollar Tree. But and help them make more money. And then when they start getting more popular, and as their craft grows, up the ante. Okay, maybe $25 or $50 or $100. It just depends on their skill level. You price it by the skill level, but you can try to go a little a little higher, because people love to support kids. So use that as to your advantage, but make sure that customer service level, if the skill level is not there, give them top-notch customer service. And hey, they may just keep coming back because they love you, and keep supporting. And then, but keep going. So parents, I just say support your kids wherever they are, and help them to become entrepreneurs, because that's what we need right now. For our kids to be entrepreneurs and have something that they can pass down to their kids. Yeah, to be their own boss.
Absolutely. And I want to kind of piggyback off of that, what you said, Ms. Arica, as well as, like, when you talk about entrepreneurship, one of the things I see consistently with entrepreneurs, I remember Ms. Valerie, she hit it on the head when we talked to her. She said, as an entrepreneur, I had to remember it's not about me.
Right.
She said it's all about sharing her gift with the world, and bringing other people up with her. And the way she's employing other people and giving them opportunities, she always said, it's never about me. She said, I just have to remember that along my journey. And she was just a big ball full of energy.
Right.
And that's something consistently, with entrepreneurship. One of my things, like I always say, I don't want to feel like nobody owes me anything. If I do anything for you, just consider it a blessing. You don't owe me anything. The only thing I would like for you to do is just help somebody else out and pull them up along the journey. Like, you don't owe me anything. Just knowing that I was able to help somebody, and then they were able to pass along their gift and help somebody. I mean, that's all I could ever even ask for along the journey. Just a few more questions, and we'll get ready to wrap it up. How has COVID in any way altered your business?
COVID has hit it hard, but we've taken that and just risen up, increased from it.
Yeah, we
I feel like but we just increased from it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, we started off with, of course, going to people, being in contact with people a lot, but now everything is virtual, and I feel like it's so much better, because the time, like before, time would take up a lot of the space, and it would just be rush. But now it's not, you don't have to do that as much. Now it's just, okay, we set up here, we already know our regular setup, table, backdrop, camera, lights, we ready. And it's a lot easier. So now we do virtual classes, we do podcasts, sometimes we do little calls, and what else do we do?
No, the reason why I was saying before about the pivoting is because we've had time to develop more products.
Oh yeah.
Because we went from the typical t-shirt and hats to like hoodies, like graphic style, nice style hoodies, to backpacks, fanny packs, like bedding. We have bedding now,
Yeah.
swimwear, beachwear, beach bags. Like we've had an opportunity to really take the business to a larger scale. And then the acting. So then she started her acting because we put that out there, and hey, it went good, and she got booked for a 10-episode show. So
congratulations.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah,
that's like really big. So
hopefully we get a season 2, please.
Yeah.
We'll speak into existence. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, but I know that they kind of did it because her contract, they signed her for 3 years, so it wasn't a 1-year contract.
And then,
yeah,
I didn't tell you this, but okay, so basically we have this one person who does like our temperature every single day, and so I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say his name, so I'm gonna just say Mr. Temperature, I guess. Okay. So Mr. Temperature told me, he was like, I'll see you later, maybe we'll have a season 2. And then he just left me off with that. Like, you can't leave me off with that cliffhanger. You gotta tell me, are we having a season 2 or not? And then I was like, wait, we're having a season 2? And then he just said, I don't know, and just left.
Yeah.
Like, man, you trying to tell me something?
But yeah, I mean, like I said, COVID stopped in a way as far as the cooking class, the face-to-face cooking classes and the parties, because she did parties, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that portion stopped, but everything else did went higher. Your bacon treat order was higher because I guess everybody's sitting at home eating, so they were ordering a lot.
Oh,
so.
and I'm coming out with my stream boxes. I was able to put together my stream boxes, which are coming out on Christmas. Well, coming out for Christmas. And I'm really excited about those. My stream boxes is more of a stream focus, which is science, technology, reading, engineering, arts, and mathematics, whereas my extreme baking boxes have more of a baking focus. So the stream boxes, it's just going to be so amazing. I can't
You got a lot of great things going on. It's awesome to hear somebody so young just talking about a lot of these different things. I know it's going to inspire a lot of people. I know we talked about how it altered the business, but I want to let both of you ladies answer this question. What's the biggest lesson you've learned from this pandemic?
Biggest lesson?
You
go first.
When you thinking about yours, when you think about yours, I'll say mine. My biggest lesson is to love your loved ones now. You know, extra hard, because we're fortunate we haven't had anyone in our family touched by COVID, but I do know friends.
Great grandma.
Yeah, but she didn't pass by COVID. She passed by something else. They had COVID around her, but she didn't die from COVID. But we didn't have anybody to pass in our family due to COVID.
A couple people got hit with COVID.
Yes. People had COVID, but they didn't pass. So what I would say is just to definitely love everybody, give everybody their flowers now. Say you love them, hug them, talk to them as much as you can. I don't have any ill will with anybody, and I know she doesn't. But if for those who out there that do mend the fences and just just do. That's the biggest lesson that I've learned. Really, that's the biggest personal one. The biggest business one that I learned from COVID. Use that time wisely. Use that time wisely, because time wise, not COVID. Please don't. I'm not talking about COVID, but time wise, that was a blessing. That was a true blessing. Yes.
Just gives you time to like reset and figure out what's more important. And,
yes.
And one of those things I want to piggyback off that as well, Ms. Arica. Like when you're saying like enjoy your loved ones. I didn't have a family member that passed from COVID, but recently, I had just saw, it was crazy. I had just saw my uncle. He lives in Texas now, and he came home to see everybody, and he came by the house on Wednesday, and I talked to him and told him how the tour was going, and we were getting ready to go to Atlanta the next day. And when he shot the interview in Atlanta, saw him Wednesday, shot the interview in Atlanta Thursday, and then next thing you know, Friday he died. And just like that, and it wasn't COVID or anything. They still don't even know what happened to him. He just fell, and they just said he fell, and he just dropped dead. And he was getting ready to go home, fly back to Texas that Saturday or Sunday, and it was just weird because he was just, when he came here, it was just, You know, he was just wanting to see everybody and everything. And I remember they say he talked to my aunt and said, you know, no matter what, I want to see you before I go back home. And right before he did, he said he just dropped dead. And it was just weird how he just making his rounds. He wanted to see everybody. And he went and put flowers on my grandmother's grave. And it was just like, it just felt like something just like divine. It was just a crazy feeling to know. But I was just so thankful that I got to see him again before he left. And that was the advice that I was telling you he left on my Facebook page about a year ago. It was about, you know, just putting the work in to accomplish your dreams. And it doesn't mean anything if you have a vision, but you don't work towards it. And then he finally left, the final note was like, dream about it, then be about it.
Right.
So it's like, definitely hit the nail on the head when you said, just, you know, spend that time with your family and don't let petty things get in between.
No.
Because nothing really is that serious.
It's not.
When you think about it. So definitely, I would definitely piggyback with that as well, as you know, enjoy those moments with your family.
And most of the time, if you just smile and give them a hug, it settles it anyway.
Right.
It settles it anyway.
Yeah, and I agree with that because I don't know if you knew, but Mama Tanika, my godmom, her name is Tanika, and I call her Mama Tanika, she actually had COVID as well. And so, like,
she's a nurse.
Yeah, she's a nurse. Yeah. And so, before then, like, I'll check up on her every once in a while, but I say, like, now, like, I check up on her, like, every single day, and my god family, every single day, my grandma, my grandpa, my goddad, uncles, aunties, all of them. Like, I text them a lot of the time, and I just continue to see how they're doing, so I just try to keep in touch with everybody. And then, you know, she was saying with, actually, this Christmas, that's when I'm going to spend my Christmas with them. And then I know she
Maybe.
she doesn't have it anymore. She had it.
Okay.
She had it.
No, I'm not talking about COVID. Remember the last? Real quick story. Just one Christmas before, only one Christmas, they wanted to go with their godparents. Both of my girls. I only have 2 girls. And it was the worst Christmas ever. So I told them that I don't know about allow them to go somewhere else for Christmas. Yeah, but smile for the camera. But maybe I said, because I don't want to feel sad.
Oh,
Remember I told y'all how sad I was for Christmas?
Well, then I'm gonna be going with them for Thanksgiving. Then you should.
I'm fine with Thanksgiving, but not Christmas.
Have to squash everything.
We got 2 weeks, but I don't know about Christmas. You don't want to be sad, do you?
No, but I wish you would have told me that.
Check the calendar. You should have put it on the calendar. You didn't put it on the calendar. This shit was going for Christmas.
Check the calendar.
Go ahead, finish.
It's all right.
And then for my business, like I was saying that I agree with her as well as far as time goes. It has definitely brought us a lot of more opportunities because we're able to do more things because we have a lot more time. So,
what would you say is for you is like the best advice that you've received?
The best advice that I've received?
No,
from somebody else, it would just be like the normal, just to keep on going after my dreams. Don't let anybody stop me. And you know, they just continue to tell me like how much it means to them that I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm continuing to inspire other kids because it's opening lots of dreams for kids. Like kids are finally realizing that they don't have to wait till they're adults to do what they want to do. They can start right now. There's a lot of people that I know that looks up to me, like a lot of the little kids who are owning their own business, creating their own books. Like a lot of kids are creating their own books for other kids to listen to. Kids are starting their own YouTube channels, doing what they want to do on their YouTube channels that of course are kid friendly, and it's just they're having fun with it. And so just to see the fact that I'm inspiring a lot of those kids inspires me to keep going. And that's a lot of times that's what just people just say, just keep going because it's opening a lot of kids' dreams.
Absolutely.
I thought you was gonna say what Auntie Liz said about the walking billboard.
What?
Auntie Liz told you to be a walking billboard for your business.
Auntie Liz told me that?
Yeah, I thought that's what you were gonna say.
No.
Oh.
I don't know what she's
I have
talking about.
Couple more questions and then we'll wrap it up. What any other future business endeavors that you have? I know you say you were doing the acting and the thing with your the stream thing you put out in, next month. What other business endeavors do you have in the future? Any goals?
Besides my stream boxes, we'll always just, you know, make sure that I'm coming out with new products, new things that will be accessible to people who don't live in my city. So anything that I can really just come up with that are accessible to other people who don't live in my city is technically what I'm trying to work on, because a lot of people want me to like travel to them, but it's like my schedule is getting so busy now because I'm growing that I won't be able to be in every single place I want. So I want to be able to make products to where it can be as if I'm there, or be able to find out other ways to do like interviews and stuff like that, or like just over the phone type of things to where I can be in multiple places at once. And so anything like that would be great. But I'm also coming out with my very first cookbook, which I'm really excited about. So it'd be as if I'm making my sweet, but you would have to make it by following the instructions. So my cookbook is going to be really exciting when that comes out. Not coming out this year, but
I'll definitely get one, so my daughters, they can, they like to mess and.
Yeah, it's her third book, but her first cookbook.
Okay, okay, definitely have to get one of those. This will be my final question. I'll let both of you ladies ask it. This is the Cross the Line Podcast Self-Investment Tour. So we've been asking all entrepreneurs and everybody that's been coming on, what does self-investment mean to you?
Self-investment means to me is just when, you're just continuing to put money into yourself and your future goals. A lot of times people go to stores and buy lots of Jordans and Nike and stuff like that. And I will admit, yes, I used to do it all the time, go Jordan Nike crazy. But now it's like I've done realized that I can have the same exact designs and stuff that they have, just put my brand on it. So like what you were saying, Auntie Liz said, be my walking billboard, be a walking billboard of myself. So I'm like doing the 2-in-1. I'm wearing cool fly stuff and promoting myself. Goddess Food Factory. So they look at me and they say, oh, that's her. Look at what she wears. She fly. And they be like, oh, what is that? Goddess Food Factory. Let me look that up. See, 2-in-1. You looking fly and you promoting yourself.
Exactly.
Well, for investing in yourself, for me, is knowledge is power. I do a lot of going to a lot of webinars. I attend a lot of mastermind groups and learn from other people, because there's always other people that's smarter than you, and those are the ones you want to listen to anyway. So I am always saying, how can I grow knowledge-wise? How can I get better? And then of course I pass that along to both of my girls. But as well to another mentor group that I mentor within Simone Bridges Inspires Inc. I mentor 25 girls within that group. So I pass that knowledge on to them too. But I'm always trying to see what can I learn that can take me and my business higher. What can I learn to make my community better? What can I learn to make my kids better? And I do things for business and as well as self-help. So I look at a lot of self-help and read a lot of self-help books so that I can have a strong family and strong marriage. So I read a lot of, self-books like that. So self-business, community, that's all what I'm about. So I'm Christian, so, I always got the good book that I read. But, that's what investing in yourself means to me.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you ladies again, Ms. Simone and Ms. Arica. Thank you ladies for joining us on the Cross the Line Podcast for this tour down here in Jacksonville. We've had a lot of fun. This has been a great adventure for us. I enjoy when people stop me and say, hey, man, where y'all going to next? I'm like, man, we headed down to Jacksonville. We're on the road. I had my first chance to fly on a plane. So it's been a great experience. We enjoyed it. Simone, you were just a gem to our community. Mom, keep doing the great job that you are doing.
Thank you.
This is amazing to see a young entrepreneur successful and doing the things that she loves doing. And you're pushing her in that right direction, encouraging her. So I love to see it, and I love to see how young entrepreneurs are starting at an earlier age. I wish I would have done the same thing, but you guys are doing an amazing job and keep doing a great job. Before we get out of here, can you please tell everyone how to find you on social media or any advice that you want to give to people?
Any advice? Remember. Just dream the impossible dream and never give up. And you can follow me on all social medias at Goddess Food Jax, at GODDESSFOODJAX. If you want to get any of my products, my website is www.goddessfoodfactory.com. My YouTube, I have like all different types of baking videos on there, story times, pieces of advice, like all cool videos. And my YouTube is Goddess Food Factory, GODDESSFOODFACTORY. And my email is info@goddessfoodfactory.com. And I know my mom was saying, she was like, she tried to sneak it in. I was like, no, take it for on a second. But we have to represent Jacksonville because it's a lot of people who are doing great things that a lot of people may not know about. It's a lot of kids with big talents here in Jacksonville, Florida. So we just gotta shout it out for the one time.
But we gotta make him do it too.
Okay.
We're gonna say Duval.
Okay.
One, two, three.
Duval. All right.
Yeah.
I want to thank you ladies again. This has been so much fun. If anybody missed this interview, make sure you go back and check it out on Amazon Music, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio. Also, you can check it out on SoundCloud or on my website, carlosksmith.com. So hopefully,
I did.
Did you?
I was asking if she get
Okay. Making sure we had everything plugged in. But hopefully everybody enjoyed this episode. Until next time, this is Cross the Line Podcast, Self-Investment Tour. Keep chasing your dreams, and thank you for listening.
Hi everyone, I'm Chef Simone Bridges, owner of Goddess Food Factory and founder of Simone Bridges Inspires Inc. And you've tuned in with Cross the Line Podcast.